The flare gun is the obvious choice for Pyro because of its reliable damage and afterburn. But what if we were to change that up a bit? Now, the Pyro has 4 different flare guns, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Detonator, which I believe is the most underrated Pyro weapon. And you guys may be thinking, why is it so good? Well, because of mobility. This weapon is great for getting across the map in just a matter of seconds. And how do you do that? With something called a Detonator jump. But the Scorch Shot can still do this, right? Well, yes, but it can't do it as good as the Detonator. Because the Detonator has a self-detonate button, it allows you to go much further. But this comes at a cost of a minus 25% damage penalty, and a plus 50% damage penalty to yourself. But that increased damage to yourself is what allows you to fly around the map. And I also forgot to mention that it deals mini crits to burning players. So now that we've taken a look at this weapon, how does this actually come into play? Well, before we do anything, we need to learn how to detonate a jump. To do a basic detonator jump, look down, shoot, jump, and crouch at the same time. But if you want to gain a bit more distance, then you shoot to your side. But that's not all, there is also a jump called the self-detonate jump, and the way to perform that is to hold right mouse button, and this jump is much more useful. These are just the most useful jumps, and if you want to learn more about detonator jumping, I would recommend watching a detonator jump guide. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the combat. Now with the Detonator, you can approach enemies in different angles, so they won't even know you're coming towards them, and this means we can catch them off guard. It also opens up new routes for Pyro that he would usually not be able to get to, like windows, ledges, and even rocks. So when you're using the Detonator, try and look out for these spots to ambush your enemies. And this isn't even the best thing that it's capable of. It's also really good at closing the distance when your enemy is trying to escape. However, try and be aware of your health when you're doing this, because detonator jumping takes about 40 health. And remember, we can use this weapon for escaping. So if you get in a situation where there's a lot of enemies, then you can get out of there fast. And another thing to know is this weapon combos great with the power jack, so you can get to the front line really fast. So there's a lot of good things about this weapon. However, the one thing it fails to do is output lots of damage, because weapons like the flare gun and Scorch Shot can output a lot of damage. And especially the Scorch Shot, which can do it really fast if you're spamming choke points. But I believe the Detonator makes up for that damage, as it allows you to launch yourself at enemies and get lots of kills. And it gives you a way more interesting playstyle. And in terms of weapons to use with this, I would recommend using the backburner or stock, because the backburner is really good at getting kills. And you can use the Detonator to get behind enemies for those crits. And for melee, I would use the power jack, because when you're detonator jumping, it's really good at going fast. So if you're playing Pyro, I would recommend giving this weapon a try. But now we're at the end of the video. Subscribe, thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.